Hello and welcome to another episode of Album Review. I'm Ominous and today we have the third studio album by the grunge act Soundgarden. This is requested by, I think, Strato C because he's a big Soundgarden fan. And you know, basically whenever Soundgarden gets mentioned in front of his friend, then his friend freaks out because he's the biggest Soundgarden fan ever. I do really love the band too. I think they're a great grunge act, arguably my favorites. Yeah, they're up there for sure. So yeah, there we go. Yeah, this was their breakthrough effort. Their debut album didn't really do much. Their second album was already a major improvement, but this album really cemented Soundgarden into the grunge big four, so to speak. Yeah, and you know, this album is definitely, you know, a big one. It's definitely a important album in their discography. There are 12 songs on this album, 4 of which, or 5 actually I believe, which were singles. Well, there were 3 singles: Jesus Christ Pose, Outshined and Rusty Cage. So there we go. We have the first song, which is Rusty Cage, which was later covered by what was his name? Johnny Cash, of course. Great cover, of course, but I do prefer the original. But it does really sound like a Cash classic, in my opinion. But yeah, Rusty Cage. It is just a classic grunge song. You know, it starts off with a. It just starts off very classic, then you have the driving riff. Chris's vocals on this track are just amazing, his screams are really high. Yeah, the song, you know, the breakdown is fantastic. It is just a perfect opening track. Yeah, and what a way to start off the album. Then we have Outshined, which is the second single, I believe, of the album. Well, yeah, it was the second single. Rusty Cage was the third one. Jesus Christ Pose was actually the first single of the album. That is kind of controversial, but I do like that. Outshined, a very classic track. We start off, of course, with that you know, that very sludgy kind of doomy riff, which I really love. And then Chris's vocals kick in and he just kicks it up a notch. Of course, the chorus, show me the power, child, I gotta say. You know, very memorable lines, very catchy hooks. The highs on this track by Chris are just some of his best. Probably his best vocal track, arguably. I don't know, it's up there. Great track, it's a classic single, what can you say? Classic. Then we have Slaves and Bulldozers, and this is a really memorable one for me. It sounds a bit like Outshined, but it's way heavier and way just dirtier and raunchier and just grittier, I think. It just sounds very heavy. The bass is amazing by... Who was the bassist again? I believe Kim Tail, no, that's the lead guitarist. Ben Shepherd, great bass work by Ben Shepherd. Really loves his work here. Really love his work here, so there we go. Yeah, this is an amazing song, 6 minutes and 55 seconds long, which actually makes it the longest song. I actually did not notice that, but it actually is the truth. Very heavy track. I really love the heaviness of this track and just an awesome one. Really awesome. Then we have probably my favorite Soundgarden song, which is Jesus Christ Pose, the first single of the album for some reason. It starts off with a really ominous kind of screechy guitar riff, and then it later goes into a more bass-centric riff. Then we have, of course, the you know, you have that riff right there. Yeah, and what I said about the vocal thing, it's probably its best on here because the high point of this song, the high point of Chris Cornell is just like, you feel like he just busted a nut or something, or he just lost his voice, or he just, you know, he ran out of breath. That is really how I felt when I heard that final line out of his mouth, out of his vocal throat. it is just such a breathtaking, no pun intended, such a breathtaking experience, such a great track. I love the imagery too in the music video. I love the lyrics, the Jesus Christ pose, you know, people that are over religious, you know, not religion in general, but people in magazines that post themselves as Jesus Christ. I'm not gonna name any names, but you know the people, and well, Soundgarden is basically mocking those people as to say, you know, yeah, you know, you guys calm down with the Jesus Christ shit. So this song is just amazing. It's one of my all-time favorites. It probably is my favorite song. I still have to make a top 10 Soundgarden song, but this song is definitely on there for sure. Then we have Face Pollution, which is just kind of a short, gritty, kind of grungy song from the early days. Very unapologetic, very raw. It sounds kind of like Louder Than Love era Soundgarden to me. Very heavy track, very enjoyable too, very fun track to listen to, and so there we go. Somewhere, yeah, it is probably my least favorite of the album. It is the least memorable, but I do still really love it. You know, not to say, you know, if this is the low point, then this album is just great, and you know, that's essentially what it is. Yeah, this song overall just is very centric. It's very on the kind of like, it's still Badmotorfinger era Soundgarden, but it also steps a foot into the future with Super Unknown. Yeah, and ultimately it's just a nice combination of the two. It is kind of mellow, but it still is also very heavy. So I do like those elements about the song, very heavy while still, you know, being a great song. And then we have Searching With My Good Eye Closed, and I believe this one, or I believe the next one. I believe the next one had some really strange elements, but we're gonna talk about that one later. This is a very ominous track, very chill to listen to, very relaxing while still kind of ominous and haunting in a way. It just feels like kind of like, you know, Chris Cornell's hunting with one eye, or like with his bad eye or something, and well, he looks like a psychopath and he just wants to fucking murder you on like, you know, Nightmare on Elm Street, fucking hell, Nightmare on Elm Street edition. It kind of reminds me of that, or not per se Chris Cornell, but yeah, you know, Chris Cornell rose up to his grave and now he's fucking haunting you. Rest in peace, Chris Cornell. Yeah, but it just sounds very haunted to me, very spooky, very, you know, on theme with, well, I'm not sure if I'm going to upload this at the right time, but maybe, you know, no, on Halloween, so there we go. I don't really do about that shit, but this is a very cool Halloween song for that matter. If you are searching for some tracks, so there we go. Then we have Room 1,000 Years Wide, and I do really love the heavy riffs on this on the song. I don't know how the riff goes exactly anymore, but this is a very, well, memorable one, but I kind of forgot it. But it is a very memorable riff once it sticks into your head. I believe it also has a saxophone solo in there. That is pretty awesome. Yeah, so this song is overall very innovative, very inspiring, very great sax solo. Vocals once again are great. Cannot go wrong with this song. It is a great one, and I mean, it has sax. I mean, come on now. Then we have Mind Right, kind of, yeah, these two upcoming songs are kind of similar to Face Pollution. They're kind of like demo, kind of raw, kind of sounding songs, Mind Right and Drawing Flies. Well, Mind Right is still kind of, you know, heavy, kind of still up there, I guess, you know. This song is very heavy on the lyrics, very just heavy on topics in general, very heavy instrumentation to portray that kind of heavy tone that the song is kind of trying to portray. Very heavy song, just heavy in general. That is kind of the thing in general about the song, so there we go. And then we have Drawing Flies again, which is kind of like a Face Pollution part 2. This song is kind of chill, honestly. It kind of reminds me of self-titled Alice in Chains era, honestly. It kind of reminds me of that. Maybe Alice in Chains was inspired by that, who knows. Very chill song, did really dig the tune. Very relaxing, you know. It does kind of remind me of Super Unknown too, so that is kind of nice. Then we have Holy Water, which is a very inspiring track, you know, of course kind of having religious lyrics on there because the holy water and the kind of trickle effects that it has and the thing that it does to you. So this is a very interesting track, to say the least, very good in general. Yeah, and just an overall very inspiring track, I would say. And then we have New Damage, which is the final track, very heavy. But you can definitely hear that the song also has its mellow moments because it's, you know, the band did go into Super Unknown after this. So a very inspiring track, and it did signal the beginning for the end of the band, or you know, of a new era for the band. So there we go. So New Damage is pretty good. It's, you know, it has kind of that somewhere kind of mentality. To me, you know, it kind of sets one foot in Badmotorfinger in the past and then one foot in the future, which is Super Unknown, Down on the Upside. So there we go. I believe it was called like that because I confuse Down on the Upside and Up the Down Stair from Porcupine Tree a lot with each other because they have down and yeah, there we go, they have down in there, so there we go. Sometimes I throw Down the band in there too, but fucking hell. But this was a very great album. It's one of my all-time favorites. It's just a very great grunge album. I don't really have any stakes with it. Rusty Cage is amazing, Outshined is amazing, Slaves and Bulldozers is amazing, Jesus Christ is amazing. Face Pollution is a nice change of pace. Somewhere is a great centerpiece. Searching with My Good House Close is amazing. Room 1000 Years Wise is amazing. Mind Ride is interesting. Drawing Flies is kind of similar to Face Pollution, kind of like the early days. Holy Water is interesting, and New Damage is a great closer. So I don't really have any flaw with this album. It is one of my favorites, so you know, me saying it's one of my favorites, I don't really have to say the rating right there because it has that status of one of my all-time favorite records. So there's the rating for you. Hope you have enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think about this album in the comments down below. Album Ominous. Let me know what you think about Soundgarden in general, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.